Tessa is probably not going to get a chance. Oh, she's down below. She doesn't get a chance to get on the show often. We've got Opus downstairs crying. Okay, we're getting a little feedback. I'm going to make sure that that doesn't happen for you. So we are on a Monday morning. It's a Monday morning, and look, Adelaide, what do you want to say? My mom is the coolest ever. All right, we're going to have her jump down. Oh, Tess, go play with her. How was your Mother's Day? Let me know. So shoot me some messages. Let me know that you're on. We'll get a chance to say hi to you. I've got a couple of people here, by the way, that I'm going to introduce to you. All right, there we go. Carrie's on and Linda's on. Good morning to both of you. I'm going to say hi to all of you first, and then I'm going to introduce you to a couple of people that are here at the house. Carrie said hi to Adelaide and Tess. And then Opus is downstairs. Don't forget it. He doesn't want to be left out. Opus is downstairs. You just don't get a chance to see him. You might hear him from time to time crying. I think he wants to be a part of the broadcast as well. What'd you do? Hi, Dana. What did you do for Mother's Day? Let me know. There she is. That's Tessa. What did you do for Mother's Day? Is it for your moms, for your grandmas, for your sisters, for your daughters? Come here. Get out of here, Ad. Get out of here, Tess. You guys go. Go play. So I have, good morning, Tammy. I have a crew here with me. I have Caroline, who I'm going to introduce you to, and I have George. And Caroline's going to be with us for the next few months. Hi, Laura. Hi, Pamela. She is getting into the business, and she said she wanted to do an internship. You want to come here for a second? Okay. We're going to bring her on. Come on over.
Hello.
There's Caroline, everybody. Say hi to Caroline. So tell me, what school do you go to?
I go to Syracuse University in New York.
In New York. She's from New York. No, she's from here, but she's in New York. How long have you been there?
I'm a junior. I'm actually going to be a senior next year, which I'm very excited about.
Sure. Congrats. And what part of the business do you want to go into?
Right now, my major is television, radio, and film.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of stuff. I haven't really quite pinned it down yet. I don't know what I want to do.
Michelle says, hi, Caroline, and welcome to the team. You're going to be working a lot with her.
Hi, Michelle.
Isn't she cute? So that's the beautiful thing is as someone goes through an internship. So we're going to talk about a couple things today. One, I want to talk about mentoring because it's a big aspect of any field and any career that you go into is that if you have a really incredible role model that really just takes you under their wings and allows you to soar, that is really when you feel that you dip back into your past and think, wow, remember when I got a chance to do all this? I'll never forget my internship. My internship was actually at the station that I ended at. So I did an internship at Channel 5 back in 93, I believe, 93, 94, worked in sports, but at the time didn't know which aspect I wanted to go into. And then your life just kind of takes off and you do different things and it pulls you in different ways. If I had to say right now, Caroline, tell me what you and I say you have to pick. You got to pick. What do you think is like guiding your gut? Any really big aspect of the business?
Editing.
Oh, see? So George, come in here, George. George, did I hear it was your birthday yesterday?
Yes, it was.
So let's bring him in. Here's George. Got to get down, George.
Oh.
See, George is not used to being on.
Okay.
Come this way. There you go. George, Caroline, George's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday. I've told you a little bit about George. George is the man behind the scenes, videography, photography, editing, creative work, etc. Does a lot of creative work, by the way, for businesses. If you're lacking in social media, he can take on a little bit more, not too much because he's busy.
I'm busy.
Yes. So they came in this morning to get this look here at the house since we started this, Caroline, about 2.5 months ago. Oh. And we're growing, and wait till you see the studio. We are, I'd say, days away, you think?
Yes. I think that by the end of this week, we'll have everything where we need to have it.
All right, so there's the crew behind the scene. Now here's what I've done for the crew to make sure that they're taken care of. Downstairs is theirs. Here's mine. We've got eggs, we've got toast, we've got blackberries and blueberries, and we've got tea. And he's going to steal one of my blueberries. All right, I want you to go grab your food.
Okay.
We're going to get underway. Okay, Linda says, hey there, George. Carrie says, hi, George. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Ann said, welcome, Caroline. Okay, so you spent some time with your son and daughter, church, lunch, walked the dogs. It was a beautiful day, absolutely. And good morning, Caroline, Linda says. Good morning, everyone, says Rose. Well, hello. Let's go ahead and get underway with our topic. And I do want to thank all of you that have provided topics. And I want you to do more and more of this because remember, this is how we're going to change the world and change lives together, is by you letting us know what is deep into your mind and your heart and your soul. And what have you been hanging on to that needs a little release? Tell me what that is. So Misty actually came by and visited me at Mark Anthony's. Barb says, I love your energy and enthusiasm. Rose, good morning. Good morning to all of you. As you are popping on this morning, I would love to know how your Monday is starting. If you pick that intentional word, if you're struggling, if you had a rough one, like, look, I came on last night and I was very real with you and said it's not always easy to celebrate Mother's Day for me because I didn't get blessed with children. And it really tugged on my heartstrings for a long time because that is a big aspect of what I wanted in life. And it didn't happen. I have a lot of people say, oh, but Monica, you take care of all of us and we're like all of your children. And I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying, but it's not the same. You get that, right? If you weren't blessed with children, or if you, God forbid, lost your children, you get it, that it's hard when everybody's around theirs and you didn't have that blessing. So yesterday was a little rough, but it was also great because I had an incredible time with my mom. We went and had our nails done. Never did this color before, but I had a lot of compliments on it. Did cobalt blue on my toes, the Monica blue that I love so much. Had a great time, really did. And then came home and just sat and thought and pondered about life and where we're going with different aspects of it. Anyway, I like the topics that you are providing for me. And Misty is the one that I mentioned came by Mark Anthony's, where I personal train and where we go live on Wednesdays and Fridays. She came by to visit. She said, Monica, something you were saying just really jumped out at me and I wanted to get at it immediately. And that was journaling aspect. And she didn't have a journal. So she came up and she's like, is the store open? And I said, well, it can be. Let's go back in and open the store. So we opened up the store for her and went in and got her 2 journals. And she immediately, I hope, started journaling. So I'm hoping Misty's on or finds her way to this broadcast. She wanted to talk about how you rebuild your life or you find yourself all over again after leaving a toxic relationship. So I want you to come on this morning and I want you to start sharing because here we are. It is 7:12 in the morning. We usually like to get deep into our topic about 7:15. I'm also going to sprinkle in a little positivity from the 3-Minute Positivity Journal from Kristen Butler. And then today I'm going to be reaching out to the crew since I was crazy busy over the last week and give a call to the crew at Stephen Arterburn's company. And he is the one behind 100 Days to Freedom. Today it's 100 Days to Freedom from Depression. And since we already did one of the days, we are on day 2 of 100 Days to Freedom. We are going to get you free from depression, free from anger, free from fear and anxiety. All of those things that you have inside of you that are holding you back from being who you really are meant to be. Hi, Sean. Good morning to you. Stephanie, good morning. Yes, Mother's Day is hard for me. Always quiet with my mom gone and my son in France. Yes, I hope you had a chance at least to Zoom, though. That's one of my hopes for you. Okay, so Misty, we're going to get to your topic. What I want to know is, have you been in a toxic relationship? Have you been in a relationship where someone holds you back? Someone has power over you, that it's extremely toxic and maybe even abusive, and you can't find your way out of it. So Misty was explaining that she's trying to find herself all over again. She's been through a lot. She lost 2 husbands in her life. She's a widow and then has been in a relationship and trying to get out of it and trying to trust again. That's one of the things that she shared with me, that she met someone and she's like, this person just seems like, is going to take care of me, is kind, is generous with his heart and soul, but it's hard to trust when you've been, when you are in or trying to climb out of something that is so toxic. So we are going to discuss that. What I want to know is just how real and raw you can be today. Because when you do that, understand that others are able to learn and gain strength from you. They might be in it right now. They might be crying at home right now as they listen to this and say, this is me. You're talking about my life. She's talking about me, Misty. That's who I am, and that's what I go through. Hi, baby Ed. Come on up, sweetheart. I am talking to you. I'm talking to each one very individually that if you are in this right now, please understand that doesn't have to be your life. What I need you to do right now is please share. Just do a tweet out, do a whatever's instantaneous, like the kids do the Snapchat, whatever social media platform you need to get out to tell them if you're in an abusive relationship, if you're in a toxic relationship, you need to tune in right now to the Facebook Live with the real Monica Adams, because she's going to help you climb out of that and find yourself all over again. Misty, if you are on, or hopefully when you see this on replay, I'm hoping that this is able to change your life. Okay, it's about 7:15, right on the nose. So, are you in a toxic relationship? Do you know someone that is in a relationship that is not the best for them? Please interact with us. Tell me just how difficult it is. Thanks, Steve Arterburn. So, Michelle, thank you for the hashtags. Jamie, good morning. Well, Jamie says you look very pretty. Well, that's very sweet. Have a great week, my dear friend. And he will be on with me, by the way, probably in the next few weeks. We're going to talk about overcoming adversity, what he's been through, what I've been through, our incredible relationship from a friendship and a personal trainer standpoint. Jamie's overcome a brain tumor, and what he's climbed back from and what he's trying to provide to the world is what I love. Let me get this spoon out of here. I've already mixed up my honey. Do you or are you in a relationship that is not the best for you? You know, deep down in your soul, you know what you deserve. So why do you stay in it? I really want to know, and I'm hoping that somebody will provide that. I'll pass along some things of counseling, coaching that I've done with sitting on a park curb, talking with someone for an hour, telling me about a relationship that they are in, that they're struggling in, that they don't know how to get away. And I just sit there and say, leave. There's nothing out of this that's ever going to be good. Okay, so someone's going to share in just a second. Let me just finish that thought. You do understand that, right? It's never going to get better. The physical abuse, the mental abuse, the spiritual abuse, the breaking down your soul, it's never, ever going to get better. Don't tell yourself that it is. One more day, don't tell yourself that it is. Don't say, oh, he'll change or she'll change. They won't. If they have hit you, they don't respect you. If they have torn you down, tried to overpower you, use their power over you and belittle you and tell you that you're nothing, it's never going to get better. Do you hear me? I'm going to say it one more time. It is not going to get better. Stop telling yourself that it is. And please stop putting on the masks. Stop putting on the sunglasses to cover up the black and blue bruises. It is toxic. It is detrimental to your life and to the relationships around you. Do you understand that? We're talking about a pretty serious topic this morning that could escalate to that. You might right now just say, oh, it's just a little toxic. He's just a little demeaning to me. To me, people say, Monica, you and Jim have an incredible relationship. Well, that's called respect and communication. So yes, I have the utmost respect for him, as he has for me. Sure, you get in arguments. We're not perfect human beings, right? We're human beings. We are imperfect. But when there is mutual respect, that relationship goes on. If you do not have respect for one another, it could lead and escalate to these type of things that we're talking about today. Let's share from Stephanie. Happened to me in 2015. I started over. Thank God for my family, friends, and my church and my faith in God. I had it. I'm living my best life right now. My ex passed away a year ago. Stephanie, I applaud you for getting out of it. I'm sorry you had to go through it, but sometimes we have to go through some really dark times to find out just how strong we are, right? No one would ever wish the type of things that people have to go through. But then you come out of it and you say, I don't understand. Why would I have been put through that? And then we have to go sometimes years until we can dip back and go, there's an aha moment of that's why you met that person to get you to this place. And sometimes people are like, yeah, but seriously? And this is where really the faith aspect comes into play. People will say, what kind of a God would put someone through something like that? I don't know. I don't know. Those are questions that we have when we're no longer here. I don't know why you have to go through some dark places. I don't know why good people have to die. I don't have those answers. He does. I want you to ask him when you go to heaven. Yeah, but I said before, I think when we get there, those aren't the questions, because suddenly it's just going to be this beautiful place that we don't need to ask about. All I have to say is, as much as you possibly can, to lean in on how strong your faith may be. And maybe if you don't have faith, maybe you are guided to it. Maybe this is when you listen to this broadcast this morning, or you pass it along to someone that you know is going through this. Linda, I see that you tagged Ray Lynn. I don't know if Ray Lynn's going through something like that, or if she knows somebody that is. I know others that have been there. Misty, if you mind sharing, if you're popping on, if not, she can always put the topics later and say what she's been through. So warning signs, let's discuss that. Warning signs. So when someone tells you that you're nothing, that you don't have, you're welcome, Stephanie, that you don't have any characteristic that would ever be able to take you forward. Those are the things that I start to see. I've watched it happen, by the way. I've watched it from the beginning of a relationship. I've watched the disrespect happen. I've watched the screaming escalate to name calling, to tearing someone down, telling them that they'll never amount to anything and that they have to stay in the relationship with this particular person because financially you are dependent upon them. Well, this is where I ask you to find your way out in any way you possibly can, because that's what I've heard from some women. And I'm going to tell you right now, it goes both ways, men and women both. But I've heard it from women who say, but I couldn't survive, and they're taking care of me and my kids. And I said, they're not taking care of you. They are belittling you, they're tearing you down, and you're allowing your kids to watch you get hit. You're allowing your children to think that this is okay. You're teaching your kids, you are, that it's okay to stay in something like that. And it's not. Moving forward, I want you to understand that you have to, no matter what, I don't care if you have to grab those kids with the smallest things that you have and leave. Because your life is so much better. I just got to chill. Your life is so much better on this other side. Okay? Please understand that I am pleading for you to make this the final day that you allow yourself to be abused. This is a great topic to discuss. Very important. It is, Caroline. It absolutely is. Carrie, please walk out. It happened to me. I didn't walk out till it got too bad. Ooh, you're going to make me cry. My faith in God, family, friends. I've got freezing cold chills right now. A new start in a new city. Okay, see, sometimes you need to take yourself completely out of the city. I'm going to pass something along where someone had to move out of the country. They had to move their mother out of the country to make sure that they were okay. He passed away a few years ago. I'm single. I am my happiest and very blessed. No one will ever abuse me again. Carrie, thank you for sharing that. As I mentioned, you need to share these type of things so that people understand that there is hope. There's hope out there. I know right now you're in it. And when you're in the midst of it, you can't even imagine what it looks like on the other side. It's beautiful, by the way. There are people who are waiting to give you a hug. There are people who are waiting to take you in. There are friends that you have never met that are waiting in the path to come walking in and be there for you. No one more day, should allow themselves to be abused. And I mean that in any way. You might say, oh, he's never hit me. She's never hit me. Okay, but when you have mental abuse, it leads many times to the physical abuse. If someone is breaking you down, that is a huge part of abuse. If they're bullying you, any facet of this is what I'm talking about. Linda says, awesome to Carrie for getting out of it. Who else wants to share? And like I said, right now, you need to do anything you can because we've got about 30 minutes left. I want you to put it out there that we are live right now and we are discussing abuse in many forms. Sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, toxic relationships, demeaning relationships, tearing you down, controlling you, being demanding of you. Do you see those characteristics in someone that's around you? Sometimes a parent will look and see that their child, and it's got to break your heart. They'll see that their child is in a relationship that they can see these things happening. Do you see those? I gave you some warning signs. So how do you rebuild and find yourself? That's what Misty wanted to know. So this next part is just that. So she got out of the relationship, or she's trying, I should say. She's stepped out. I don't believe she's completely broken free. That person tries to be kind all over again, and boy, are they good. They put that mask on, and no, I promise, please come back. Please come back. I love you. I'll never do it again. Remember what I told you? It is a repetitive pattern. Yes, they will. As soon as they get you back under their control, it happens all over again. And then all of a sudden you just become immune to it. Then it just becomes a part of your life. That's not life. That's not living. We've got 31 of you on right now. This is a really powerful topic. Keep sharing. Please keep hashtagging, because what we need to do is talk to you. I need to hear from you. I need you to please let yourself go. Be okay with the fact that you can say it. You might be scared right now because you might say, if I put something out there and it gets back to he or she that's doing the abuse, they're going to hit me harder. I'm asking you to break away though. I'm asking you to take the most important things when that person walks out of the house, and I ask you to go. I ask you to run and never look back. Go to your family, go to your friends. They'll help you. All the materialistic things don't matter. You want to gather up and do it little by little. You want to gather up those pictures that mean so much to you. I hope you're able to grab them. If you're not, it's here. The good memories are here, and sure, it'd be nice to be able to have them. But do we really need the pictures? I mean, we have our phones. We don't even live in the moment anymore. Past pictures are great to have. Look back at baby pictures. But ultimately, what do we do with them? Do you really need them? I think you need your self-worth and your body never to be hit again more than you need that baby picture. I know people that have been there. I know people that are going through it right now. And I know people who have had their mothers go through this, and they literally have done everything that they possibly can, and then that person goes back. And what normally happens in this particular case is that you find an addiction just to deal with the pain. So this person turned to alcohol to mask the pain. Some people turn to drugs to mask the pain. Does this sound like your life? Does this sound like the life of someone that you know? It's a powerful topic. And again, 30 minutes left so we can change lives together. If you share, tune in right now. Start sharing this particular broadcast and say she's on live. Ladies and gentlemen and kids, right? The abuse happens to the kids as well, because it doesn't just happen to the person that they're in the relationship with. Come here, sweetie. It also happens to the children. And then that's when you say, okay, they can do it to me, but they can't do it to our kids. Why didn't you care about yourself first and foremost? Because those kids watched you take it and get hit and get torn down and maybe be raped. So I've seen it happen where it starts with just a hit and you think, oh, he only hit me once. She only hit me once. And then all of a sudden it happens again, and you swear you won't take it. And that's what I always have said I don't understand. But why? Why do you take it over and over and over again? Why pass the one time? I've said this before. If Jim ever once, and he won't, by the way, he's such an amazing man, but if he ever did it one time, it would be one time only. I would never let it happen again. And I do mean that. Because there are way too many people on the face of this earth who will respect you. And that is something that you will command, not demand. You will command respect. That's something that you do together. And the way that happens, and Misty and everybody else, how do you rebuild? You rebuild because you know that from that toxic relationship, that you learned something that you would never, hopefully, never allow to happen again. And that you would see the warning signs. The warning signs are the jealousy, the insecurity, the constant where were you, the questions. If you don't respect and trust in your relationship, you're going to constantly be doing that to each other. Hey, I have a Life 360 on my phone, and I happen to notice that I think you were over at this person's house. And then you look at that and say, no, do you see right there? There's a Starbucks. Or you see right there? There's a gym. Do you see right there? There's a library. Whatever. A church. And, okay, they don't trust you. And when they don't trust, and when they're insecure, suddenly it becomes possibly leading to this path that I'm talking about. So Michelle did a hashtag of leave a toxic relationship. Yes, mental abuse, physical abuse, abuse in any form. Sexual abuse is a big one. It becomes child abuse, by the way, as well. Because that person doesn't respect you, they're certainly not going to respect the children. That's where it trickles down from. Okay, Dana is going to share a pretty powerful one here. Dana said, my ex-husband of 12 years is an alcoholic. He was very controlling, emotionally and verbally abusive. Can I just say right now as I read this, thank you for allowing us to share this story, because that's what you have to do, is to have enough trust to say, I'm going to tell you where I was. And no one is going to belittle you. No one is going to judge you. I think that's why a lot of people don't share what they've been through, because they think, someone's going to judge me. They're going to say, how in the world would you stay in something like that? Or you're going to think that you're protecting that person. And I don't want anybody to know that he or she ever did that. No, you need to. Because future people need to know, if they ever got in a relationship with them, that that is the kind of person that they were. You want to save somebody else from going through that. So she said she stuck it out for the sake of my kids, hoping for a change. Did it happen? And not wanting my kids to be in a split-up home. The kids would be so much happier if you'd leave. Once I saw what it was doing to my daughter being yelled at, she would lock herself in her room. That's what I just said. See? I decided it was enough. I needed to leave. It was bad enough that he was doing it to me, but I wasn't going to allow it to be done to my children. It has a lasting effect on myself and my kids. It's very hard to trust again. Thank God I had the help from my parents and my faith in God to get us through. I've been away from that mess since 2009. Dana, again, I know it was hard being in it. This is what we're trying to do, though, right? Today we are trying to say, don't allow it to go on as long as Dana allowed it to go on. Many people stay in a relationship because they think the only way that this is going to be okay is that the kids don't have to be in a relationship where the mom and dad are not together. That is so not true, especially now. I mean, it's almost become a part of life that the children are in a multiple family relationship, right? They've got this one split or that one split, and it's almost become the norm. Well, why is that the case? Well, who knows? Maybe that's because so many people aren't respecting each other, and there's a lot of abuse out there. There's a lot of people tearing each other down. Excuse me, I'm gonna have some water. I don't want other women and children to live through that. Exactly, Dana. Carrie's proud of you. Stephanie says, way to go. Okay, today's topic again, rebuilding, finding yourself after leaving a toxic relationship. Dana shared that she's been there. We've had a few others as well. Stephanie, thank you. Carrie, thank you. Linda, thank you. Others, and I want to hear from some men. Any guys willing to step up and say, I was abused. And this is why I'm very, very careful of saying it is not just men that abuse. I've seen women that have done the same thing to men. Belittle them, tear them down, hit them. Right? They never say anything. You want to know why? So this is the other flip side of the coin. Guys don't want to talk about it because they look like they're weak, that they would allow a woman to even get near them, to hit them. You're not weak. There are some really mean men and women out there that they are so jealous and so insecure. Really, truly, it's the insecurities inside them. I'm going to tell you right now, someone who tries to overpower you, someone who tries to control you, has no security whatsoever about themselves. They don't respect themselves. They can't if they don't respect you. Because don't we always say that you're the most important person in the equation of life? That you have to respect who you are. You have to work on your soul. You have to work on your inner being before you can ever respect anyone else. That's what this is about. This is about finding you all over again. Do you even remember who you were before that relationship started? Many people don't. They lost themselves. Does that sound like you? Does it sound like someone that you're watching? And I think there's a lot of friends, family, there's parents who are watching their kids go through it and they think they can't step in. I know a dear friend of mine that lives in another state that's watched this, and she's like, Monica, I think I need life coaching because I'm watching my child go through something and I want to step in so bad, but I feel like, and this is hard, right? Parents, if you've gone through this, it's hard to get your kids to listen to you because they don't think that you know what you're talking about. You don't understand, you haven't been there. So maybe it's on the other side. Maybe you have an incredible relationship with your husband or wife, and they're going to say, you don't understand. You're sitting there watching, but you do understand, because on the other side of the coin, those of you that are in incredible relationships, that are blessed to be in an amazing relationship because you've worked hard on it, you know what it looks like to be in a great relationship. You know what not to have enter into your relationship, right? So you know that you can see the warning signs on the outside. Anybody else want to share what it has to do with toxic relationships? How to find yourself? Dana and Carrie and Stephanie and Linda that have shared. Do you want to help Misty and everybody else understand what life now looks like? How long, by the way, if you don't mind me asking, how long did you stay in the toxic relationship? How long did you allow the abuse to continue? We've got 30 minutes left. This is very important that if people can get up and listen to this, if they can step away, maybe they are in an abusive relationship right now. Maybe they can throw some headphones on. Maybe they can put the earbuds on. Maybe they can step away without that abuser knowing what they're listening to empower them today. Do you understand what that feels like? To be able to impact a life that right now, today, we can never, ever have the abuse happen to you again. If you just understand that you can do it. Don't let your kids and you one more day go through this. I want you to grab it all. I want you to grab what you can grab, and I want you to go. I want you to get out. Don't get hit one more day. Don't be belittled one more day. Please don't allow it to happen. I mean, I've seen broken bones. I've seen people getting punched. I have seen people get into the hospital. They are in the hospital. They've had broken backs. They have been paralyzed by something that has been done from abuse. I've seen it in my 30 years of being a broadcaster and doing some really serious, heartbreaking stories. But I've also seen the other side where they got out. We blurred their face and changed their voice so that we could get the message across to say they wanted to tell you that there's a better life. They still were being very protective of themselves. They didn't want to show. I understand that. It can be a scary place to be. But understand that you are meant for so much more. I mean, you really are. And this is not the life to stay in. So if it is you, today, I'm asking you to dig deep down in your soul. When we talk about that triangle of life, your mental and spiritual has to be up top because you're struggling with it so hard. If you're not a faith-based person, I just ask you to listen. Let something in your heart and soul that might just connect. That like a sponge, you might hear the words of potential. You might hear that you are very, very present in this moment right now when you're listening to how hard the times have been for you. But understand that, gosh, there's such a beautiful world out there. You are meant for so much. You are vital to the world. You are a beautiful soul. Don't ever let them tell you that you're not. Because they will. Oh, they're really good. They're really good at overpowering you and telling you that you're nothing, that you'll never amount to anything, that you're a weak person, and that you need them. You don't need them. But that's their way of controlling you. Dana said, yes, Monica, I'm dealing with that. Seeing my daughter in a toxic relationship. See, do you understand? So Dana's kids watched her in it and thought that it was okay. So then it repeats, just like alcohol or drug abuse. If you have a family and you have like 5, remember we've talked about you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around. So if you've got 5 people in your family, scientific studies show that at least one of them are going to be the person who's going to follow the addiction again. They watched addiction, they do it. You would think you'd want out of it, but somehow it just looks like that's how life was supposed to be. So you allow yourself to be right back into it again. They're addicted to the abuse. I know that sounds strange, but I'm serious. It is, well, this is life, right? This is how mom thought it was okay for dad to treat her. It's okay for him to scream and yell and tear her down and call her every name in the book and then hit her and then sexually abuse her. Well, that's okay. We watched it. She said it was okay. No, you may not have actually said the words, but the way you allowed it to happen is showing that it was okay. Do you understand that? I know you don't want that to have been the case, but that's exactly what happened. That is what's happening right now. So she said she's dealing with it, that her daughter is in a toxic relationship and feeling like her hands are tied. She's a young adult and doesn't want to hear it. But Dana, can you please pass along to her? Does she even know what your husband did? Maybe they don't. Sometimes people hide that from their kids. They don't want their kids to know what happened and why. You're protecting them, but you're not really. The only way you can protect them for it not ever happening moving forward is to be honest. You have to find a way to break the generational curses, Dana says. I'll pray for your daughter and that she chooses freedom from this abuser. Yeah. This is a very important topic to talk about. And Misty, I want to say I'm so glad you did. Misty's not on. I'm surprised because she's always on. Misty, I hope you're okay. And I'll reach out to you. I took a picture with Misty when she stopped by the studios. Or stop by Mark Anthony's. Misty, I'm glad that it sounds like you are close to being out of it. Everybody else, if you're in it right now, I hope this is the last day. We can only do so much of trying to help you, but I also want you to understand that there are incredible organizations out there that I want you to call or I want you to reach out. It doesn't matter. We've said this before. It doesn't matter if you are not in a particular religion, but you know that they have an incredible group to help you with that. Just go, knock on the door, talk to that church. They'll welcome you in. If you're not faith-based, it's okay. Maybe you'll become that. I'm going to read a devotional that maybe will help you with that. Again, we've got about 20 minutes left. I want to get into a couple things here to bring you some positivity. So we talk about some tough subjects. We have fun together as well. By the way, I'm going to tell you, I have a friend coming in town from Las Vegas who was in the industry with me for many years. He and I met when I did mornings over at WIL, and he was our evening guy. Absolutely hilarious. If you listened to WIL in the days, I think it was the late 90s or early 2000, because I was there from 97 to 2005. So I don't remember exactly when Todd Michaels joined us, but Todd's coming in town, and I thought of it the other day, and I thought, oh my gosh, what would be so much fun? Todd, you and I need to do some shows together. And he's like, yes. So he has some fun ideas. I have some fun ideas. He actually wants us to go revisit our childhood homes, not necessarily having to go in, unless they want to welcome us in. So I'd go back to Florissant. I forget where Todd grew up. I think maybe South. I think he was in South County. Go back to our childhood homes. And then he said go back to maybe our grandparents' homes. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I can't do that because my grandma's house unfortunately blew up. Yes, that's a story in itself. We'll talk about that in a few weeks. So Todd Michaels, if you all remember from WIL Days, is going to join me in a few weeks when he's in town. So it'll be he and I live together. I want to thank you for the serious topics that we talked about today. But let's flip, all right? So there's always the other side of the coin. You have the negativity, you have the toxicity, and then there's a light. There's a bright, shining light that's going to allow you to come out. And that's going to come right now. So I want you to take your journal. This is mine. You know I love animal. You know I love fashion. So this is my journal that I write in. I want you to grab yours. Grab your pen, grab your paper. I want you to tell me any aspect of what we've found today that might connect with you. So 100 Days to Freedom. This is from depression. Oh, look, I didn't do this on purpose, but it kind of matches what I'm, right? It's all about blending. So day 2, and today's is 100 Days to Freedom from Depression. And this is a daily devotional from Stephen Arterburn with a PH. So people have been asking, how do you spell his name? It's Stephen. Stephen Arterburn. We talked about the 100 Days to Freedom from Depression about a week ago. And so we're going to get into day 2. So have you asked, share each other's burdens. As well, in this way, obey the law of Christ. By the way, that is from Galatians 6 and verse 2. You know, so many of us, this is you, I'm talking to you today. So many of you live a life that is overflowing with things to do, right? We run all over the place. We feel like we got to be the hero. We're a hero for ourselves and a hero for everybody else. It's not that those items are good. It's not that those items are bad. They go both ways. But rather, it's just a part of life, right? You run. You're running the kids around. Are you really taking care of yourself? Is it a little much of thinking, I've got to do it all? And you exhaust yourself. Well, for example, you may be the head of a large project at work. Is that you? It requires lots of overtime. Now, you may have children who are involved in sports and their games, their finals maybe are the same week. You might be dealing with a child who was sent home sick by the school nurse, and the car needs maintenance. Does it sound like you, right? It's overwhelming, so much going on. If we stop long enough, we may recognize we don't feel so good either ourselves, but we didn't even take care of ourselves, so we were taking care of everybody else. Just listing everything that can be on our plates, whew, it's a little overwhelming, isn't it? Does this sound like your life? Yes, Monica. Yes, the kids are getting ready to come home from school. Now they're back, and we don't have everybody taking care of the kids. We don't have childcare. Now for the next few months, it's running the kids here, running the kids there, trying to run our jobs. I don't feel good. The kids don't feel good. Wow. That sounds like a lot. So it's a little exhausting. But why do we try to manage everything? Okay, so one of the things that I really found to be beneficial over the last 4 months is to learn the art of delegation. So why do you try to manage everything by yourself? Why? Is it the belief that to be a good Christian, we must do it all? Is it pride? You know, I think so for a lot of us. Somewhere in our minds, we came to believe that sharing our needs with others is a sign that we're irresponsible, unorganized, unspiritual, not a good mother, not a good father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, etc., friend. In this line of thinking, our accomplishment scale runs our lives, right? Oh, Rose says because we're women. Yeah, but you know, it's not just women, Rose. Men do the same thing. I'm going to tell you right now. They try to do the hero syndrome as well, right? The Superman, the Wonder Woman. I mean, I love that my nickname is Wonder Woman, but sometimes I thought about it and thought, yeah, but you can't always be Wonder Woman, right? She's not always Wonder Woman. She turns into Wonder Woman, and then she goes back to her life. He's not always Superman. He's Clark Kent, and then he's Superman. So you remember that? You're not 24/7 the hero, because it's exhausting. They can't always be in that's cute clothes and the cape and the, you know, I do love her powerful bracelets, but she can't be that all the time. Why are we like this? Why do you do this to yourself? Maybe we don't want to be a burden or risk being rejected, or we're skeptical about receiving with no strings attached. Whatever the reason is, doing life on our own and in our own strength is contrary to Scripture, by the way. In fact, God commands us to walk alongside each other. That's from Galatians 6, verse 2. Asking for help is a sign of strength. Can you hear that? Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Have you ever thought that? No one. No one that I've ever talked to has ever said if they ask for help that it shows a sign of strength. But according to this, that's what he's saying. Have to jump. I will finish the message later today. Sounds good, Angela. Thanks for being on. It shows humility rather than pride. Aha! There's your aha moment. Write that down. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Write it down big, proud, read it over and over again. If you ask for help, you're not weak. It shows strength. It shows humility. It shows, rather than pride, humility to say, it's okay. I'm going to allow you to do this for me. Can you do that for me? And I'll do the same for you. That's a great world that we help each other. Our help can come in two ways, so listen to this. From God himself, who is eager to respond to us and is known in the Bible as our provider. And from other believers who can help us experience the blessing of being in the family of God and looking out for each other. Really powerful scripture today. You are never strong enough that you don't need help. Write it. You are never strong enough, ever. None of you. I don't care who you are, men or women or children or seniors, any adult in between, from kid to the end of our life. You are never strong enough that you don't need help. I don't care who you are. Okay? That's from Cesar Chavez. And if you are at a hard place in life, hesitant to ask for help, and this is probably a lot of you, I don't know, I'm there. I'm just kind of floating. I don't think I can ask for help. Yes, you can. Let the pride go. If you're in that hard place in life and you're hesitant to ask for help, God invites you to ask him so he can meet your need. So maybe it's not someone right in front of you. Maybe it's now dipping into your spirituality. So you reach up into seeing beyond the clouds and say, I need you. I need you to help me. And the way we relate it to today's topic is you ask God for strength to walk away from the abuse. You ask God to show you the light. You ask God to show you what's on the other side of that abusive, toxic door. And he'll show it to you. Just ask him. Just lean in on your faith. Or lean in, if you're not faith-based, on those that you have allowed to be around you, that love you, that will be there for you. Stephanie said, I had to ask for help. It was hard, but all they can say is no. But I still asked for help. That's right. Because someone's going to. That doesn't mean that there's not somebody else waiting in that path to say, I got you, girl. I got you, guy. I got you. For further reflection on this particular topic, you can go to Psalm 20, verse 1, or Psalm 91, verse 15. And listen up. Here's today's prayer for you. Ready? God, I need you. I admit I've been trying to do life on my own, in my pride. I think I can manage everything coming my way, but I can't, and it's okay to say you can't. Please help me to seek you for direction and practical support from other believers. Amen to that. That's a good one. Again, this has been 100 Days to Freedom from Depression, a daily devotional that I picked up when we went to church a few weeks back, and they just spoke to me. I hope they're helping you. We've got, again, the depression, we've got fear and anxiety, we have stress and we have anger, and I still want to get the book, and maybe I'll get it from his staff. There's one that's 100 Days to Freedom from Overeating, and we can get into that as well. All right, we've got about 10, 12 minutes left. Pam, I hope you have a great day as well. I love those of you that have gotten out of the abuse. I love that you shared that there is a way out, because that's what people need to hear. We're going to tell you about some of the topics coming up. I've got a family that I'm going to feature. I reached out to them a couple of weeks ago, and when I found out what their background is with regards to what they're going through with this child, their baby is in the hospital and will be at least through the end of the year. Can you imagine? Right now, that baby is 2.5 months old, and I've been told that at least through the end of the year that baby will still be in the hospital. Okay, that's hard in and of itself. But beyond that, that child and what that child is going through is mind-blowing to me. To think that a 2.5-month-old baby has a colostomy bag, that the baby, I think, could possibly be blind, that the kidneys are shutting down, all these things. I don't know how to pronounce the baby's name. It's Freyjas. And there's a picture of that baby, by the way. Look at that child. I mean, just whenever I see things where a baby is hooked up like that. So there's a GoFundMe for this child. Looks like about $18,000 has been raised. That might sound like a lot to you, not when you hear what this family's going through. $150,000 goal, and we're only $18,000. So there's been an update. So a tracheotomy on that baby was placed on Thursday, April 27th. She's currently on medication to sedate her, ease her pain, essentially paralyze her until she heals. She's going to need the trach for the rest of her life, but it does give her freedom. I mean, that's incredible that's the way they're looking at life. Again, it's like anything they can do to help this child. She's currently on antibiotics for an infection that she developed, tracheotomy surgery. I mean, it's just a vicious cycle. I'm going to bring that family on. When I tell you that I want to tell the stories and help in any way we can, we have a platform to be able to raise money for that family. We have a platform to be able to help that very young family, by the way. So they're going to be on. There is a art show, and I want to feature this particular talented artist. It's a gentleman that came in and said, Monica, I'd really love for you to showcase my wife. And I said, let's do it. So she's going to come on with us. I believe her event is sometime later this week. So I'm going to do everything I possibly can to bring her on live with us. If she can be in person, that's the best. I'm not a fan of bringing people on this way because it hadn't worked for us yet. We'll get those bugs worked out. But if I can get her on with me, that is my hope, because I think the event's this Friday. We'll also have some friends of mine, like I said, Jamie, that's overcome adversity, make you laugh when Todd and I are together. This is the Real Monica Adams podcast that will take you through the hard topics, that'll make you laugh together. We'll see the light together. We'll go through the darkness together. Do you hear what the word is? Togetherness. And that's what this is all about. I'll be praying for that family and that precious baby. Dana, yeah, that'll be coming up where we'll discuss that. Positivity. You need a little bit of that in your life? Well, let's help you with that. Because I know there are a lot of people who struggle, and they look at their life and say, my whole life is just filled with negativity, or the people that I hang around, they're all negative. I don't know how to even think that there's a possible life outside of this. Well, there is. You don't have to go through the life that you're in right now. You know, when I talk about the intentions, and I talk about a mental health checkup, that the struggle ends when gratitude begins, the gratitude that you do at the end of the night, the intention that you do first thing in the morning. Let's talk about this. Gratitude is deceptively simple, and it's surprisingly powerful, by the way. It's one of the easiest and most effective ways to drastically improve the quality of your life with minimal effort. So please don't skip it. When I tell you in the morning, hey, grab hold of that day and set your intention, but I don't want you to forget that throughout the entire day, someone can try to derail you. Yes, you tried to do everything you possibly could to set the positivity, but there are messages on a billboard. There's messages on the radio. There are people who you show up at work and they're nothing but negative, and they'll try to tear you down. So they tried to take that ship that you're on, and they try to sink it, and you have to rewrite it. So all day long, every second of every day, until you close your eyes and you go to bed in the evening, you have control. Constantly. Now you might sit there and say, nope, Monica, it's not that easy. Yes, it is. It's your choice. You either let them have power over you and you let them derail your intention that you set in the morning. That's you. I'm telling you right now, you can say so-and-so and so-and-so, they did it to me. No, they didn't. I know this is a hard way for you to look at life, but it's true. When I say take care of you, number one, and that's not selfish, that's just the only way that the rest of the life can work, is that you're okay, that you like yourself, finding your way to love yourself. And then throughout that day, yeah, there's some demons that will try, right? If you are faith-based, you will look at God guiding you, and then you'll look at the devil try to completely derail, right? He'll mask himself in the kindest human beings on the earth. And then all of a sudden you'll see this snake come out. Where'd that come from? Yes, that's the masking. So when I say at the end of the day, it might be exhausting because you say, wow, I did everything I possibly could at the beginning of the day to make it right. And then all these things went wrong. And hey, I fell off the horse and I allowed that person to abuse me. I allowed that person to have power over me. I allowed that controlling aspect to happen. Okay, fine. At the end of the day, there's got to be one thing that went right. You might have to seek deep into your soul to make sure that you find it, but that's when you write down the gratitude. So when I talk about the bookends of life, intention in the morning, gratitude in the evening, if you're not good at journaling, right? Writing words after words, deeply reaching into your soul, it's okay. I ask you, can you write 2 words? One word's intention. Yesterday, my word was protection. Today, my word, let's use excited. How about that? I'm excited that what's coming for you, for us, what's coming for the studio, what's coming for our world in potential. So today my word's excited. Now, throughout the day, people can try and take it in many different directions, right? But then at the end of the day, I'm going to look at what went right. I met a new friend, Caroline. George is here. He just had a birthday. Another year on this earth. There's so many things. There's green out there. The trees aren't dead, right? It's not raining now. It did rain. There was some fog this morning. It parted. See, there's always the other side of the coin. Understand that what you see, if you saw fog, you see, oh, that's a yucky, icky day. But at some point, it's going to change. There's always light coming. That's what I want you to understand, and that's called potential. Okay, so for daily affirmations, the words we use, they're going to shape your reality. They are the blueprint for your experiences. This is why affirmations are so powerful and why I want you to do the gratitude at the end of the day. You're always saying affirmations to ourselves without realizing it. You just say it, but you got to let yourself absorb it. The more frequently you affirm something to yourself, the more ingrained it becomes in your subconscious mind. Most people will use affirmations that limit them, and they'll use these affirmations daily. They'll say things like, I'm not good at that. I've never been good with money. I can't even lose weight. Learning something new is hard for me. My life is hard. I'm just not lucky. I've never have nice things. I'm not talented enough. I'm not blessed. I could go on and on. The list goes on and on. Well, this is just a small sampling of negative affirmations that people will use to hold themselves back from their potential. And the list goes on. So I want you to follow these very simple guidelines to create your own positive affirmations. Make sure your affirmation expresses something that you want, not somebody else wanting it for you, but that you want to accomplish instead of something you want to actually avoid. For example, I'm financially abundant rather than I don't have debt. You see how the words change around? I am financially abundant rather than I don't have debt. State your affirmation in the present tense as though it has already happened and it's part of your current reality. Example, I'm in a loving relationship with the love of my life instead of I'm going to date someone who doesn't cheat on me. You see the difference, the way the words are put out there? Be sure your affirmation makes you feel excited rather than doubtful or afraid. For example, if I'm a multimillionaire, makes you think, yeah, right? Woohoo! Then go with, I'm attracting more abundance into my life. And that's really funny because my mom and I were at lunch yesterday, and my mom said, ooh, I want to meet a millionaire. I was told if you put it out there, it happens. Monica, you talk about the law of attraction. We did bring up a couple weeks ago that my mom's willing to date again. So evidently she wants a good dancer, good-looking guy, and hey, it'd be great if you were a millionaire. Mom, you said it. I got to call you on it. And then lastly, build bridges for the things you don't yet believe by using I'm in the process of or I'm learning to. See how those sound? I'm in the process of creating wealth in my life. I'm learning to manifest my dream, whatever that looks like. So use some of those guidelines. Use that positivity. By the way, that's part of the 3-minute positivity journal, and it literally can take just 3 minutes to rewrite that ship that you feel is sinking. Well, I hope that today was able to help you. I hope that today you, in fact, were able to have your life changed. And I hope that if you were in that abuse, that if you were in that toxic part of life, that you find that today can be your way out. That is my hope. That is my prayer for you. And again, if you have a topic that you would like for me to discuss, please reach out to me. Some things that we have coming up besides what I just mentioned, the dark side of perfectionism, breaking habits is hard. Yeah, the bad ones. And fakeness, how to not fall into their game. Those are some good ones. If you have a topic you'd like for me to discuss, just reach out to me, info@therealmonicaadams.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love for us to change lives together. Now go out, grab hold of the reins of that world that you have ahead of you. I want you to find the positivity, release the negativity, and who knows, if you've never had yoga in your life, maybe today's the day you find it, because understand that yoga grounds you. And that when you inhale and exhale, it's not just breathing in and out, but it's actually taking in the intention and letting go of the negativity. I hope you all have blessings today. Go out and lean on someone that can protect you. Take the phone call from someone that's reaching out to you. They're there for you. They love you. And so do I. Go out and have an incredible day. Thank you for all your blessings.